All right, Shalom Yasharala. Yahabashim Yashabakatam. Shalom Israel. Man, I'm not gonna sit here and say we all need to come together. I'm gonna sit here and say that it's imperative that we all come together. Zephaniah 2 and 12. Gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Not everybody desires to come together. Everybody has a precept or two of why they shouldn't congregate with you. And a lot of people do things that nobody wants to be around. Thus said Yahweh Bashim El Shai. And the scriptures do speak of Christ will come back and settle everything and bring everybody together. We all know that. Mashiach Yahweh Shai is in the law. He's in Genesis. He's all through the law. Okay, the first 5 books of the Bible. He's even in the prophets. And he shows up in the New Testament. He does. And he's always been trying to bring Israel together. He's going to show up again, and it won't be pretty. Not this time. It'll be pretty. Yahweh sent his son to prove to us that we can't do what he did. That's why the scripture said we will scarcely be saved. Things are a whole lot broader and to me a lot worse than it was back then. I'm not going to exalt myself to say that I was back then, even though I believe I was. I'm not going to exalt myself to say that. I say it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of. Yeah, that's my back. So, being that it's mine. This guy right here. He wants my sword. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at this beautiful book, man. I put in work with this right here. This is a beautiful book. I mean, it's had his times, you know what I'm saying? And, I had to put it together. It's falling out the bottom and everything else. I love this, though. It's mine. No, I don't need a new one, right? I'm going to prepare this, right? I'm going to put this one, Lord willing, I remember to put this in a new body. That way nobody knows what it is but me. And those who are around me would know what this is. All right, I'm going to get this in a new body. Okay, it's not going to say this on the front. But inside, it's going to have the truth. So I'm going to go somewhere quick. When you want to do the right thing, you'll do the right thing. I'm going to go over here first. This is the book of Colossians chapter 3. Mm, um, yeah. This is the book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, Hamashiach, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. Giving thanks to God the Father by Hamashiach Yahushua, because everything goes through Hamashiach Yahushua to the Father. No man coming to the Father. So here, Jude, book of Jude. Okay, I see it. This is going in horrible. I blame my brothers for the horrible internet. It's their fault. So, all right, this is the book of Jude. It's only one chapter now. Chapter 1, verse 22. And of some have compassion, making a difference. Some have compassion, making a difference. Okay. All right. And others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire. And what's that fire? Fire is the temptations. The fire is to try you, the tribulations, which y'all should be praying to Abba now to y'all need to forgive others so the Most High can forgive you. And he can put less tribulation on you that you can bear and get out of the fire, okay? And others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. Now unto him that is able to keep you from failing, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, now and forever. Amen. Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushua. Yahweh Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushua. Okay? Y'all gonna be tried with fire, man. And those who have compassion, like our big brother Christ, Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Those who have compassion like him, who are meek and come in a humble spirit, who are able to sit down at the table and to reason with one another, you are a lawyer. All right? This is the book of John. All right, First John, no, not First John, but yes, First John, chapter 2, verse 1. My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the righteous. All right? And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world, which we already know is the world of Israel, Isaiah 45 and 17. Okay? We already know that. Acts 2 and 21, we know that it's the world of Israel. Okay? I'm just saying, brothers, just come to the table. You have an advocate. If it's wrong coming to the table, you have an advocate to say that, hey, the brother came to the table in all good faith, because maybe he's wrong what he was doing. And if he knows he's right, he got to come to the table to show that he's right, so the other brothers across the table may be wrong, and they can repent. And they have an advocate with the Father, which is Hamashiach Yahushua. All y'all is just arguing for nothing. I'm serious. You profit nothing in this truth doing all that arguing. If you're not willing to come to the table, bro, just step aside and say, I'm not willing to come to the table with you, brothers. And I'm not going to say no names. And those who watch this video are going to understand. And hey, Lord willing, this video gets out. I pray it gets up because you brothers are ridiculous. You're unwilling to come to the table, unwilling to do what you're supposed to do. All right. Shame on you. Shame on all you brothers that are unwilling to come to the table and debate thy cause with thy brother to discover not a secret between the two. You're unwilling. All right. And some of y'all are wrong. And you just don't want to admit it. It's because you lack integrity. You lack integrity. Okay. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, ye younger, talking about you brothers that's been in the truth for not that many years than the elders, okay. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder, and your elder is that brother that's in the camp that's above you, not the camp or the government. He's above you, right? Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and he clothed with humility, and be clothed with humility, and be clothed with humility when you come, man. Because you're supposed to treat your elder like a father, man. You're supposed to treat the one that's above you like a father, officer over you, a sergeant over you, captain over you. That's over you, and treat him. Come to him like you'll come to your father with much respect and humble and with humility, and that's how you got to come to your father with humility and humble. You can't treat your father like he's an equal, like he's equal to you. You can't do that. And likewise, you women, that's the way you're supposed to come to a brother, just like he's your father, with much respect. But y'all lack humility. Let me see. Verse 5, I'm going to start at the top. This First Peter chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another. Y'all should be able to be subject to one another, a brother, in humility. Even though you're a higher rank than that brother, even though you're a higher rank than that brother, you can still show humility and subject yourself to that brother. Hey, brother, with the utmost respect, I'm talking to you, or sister, with the utmost respect. How you doing, sister? You know what I'm saying? All right. And be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Right? Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And a lot of y'all are being enticed by Hashatan, Satan, your adversary. Remember, the devil's just a word. Satan is an actual man. So a lot of you brothers won't come into humility because you are being tempted by Satan. He got control of your mind. He got control of your mind, and he's given he's given that power to control your mind to see if you're going to remember the law. But y'all don't come in humility. That's when the Most High doesn't allow Satan Hashatan to take over your mind. Can Satan take over your mind? Yes, he can. He can cause you to do things. When you're in that state of being proud, right? Your accomplishments, things that you have accomplished. There's things that you have accomplished in life, and you feel that you're right, and you may be right. But if you don't come in humility, brother, hey, say hello to that pine box. Slacky about that, y'all, man. I got that COVID internet. So brothers gotta come to the table humble and humble in spirit and meek and subjecting themselves one to another. And that's the only way things can be done. Is in a humble and humble and humility spirit. Okay, this is a let me see. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11, and it reads, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Hold on. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knee, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. What I'm getting is, hey man, you may come to the table and you may be wrong. And correction, that chastisement. You know what I'm saying? Don't turn your back on the Most High's chastisement, because it will yield fruit, or will yield a lot of understanding, a lot of respect from brothers. All right. So you shouldn't be overwhelmed and depressed when it comes to being chastised. All right, our brothers, and being corrected because you're being wrong. You're in your pride. That's all that is. Especially, you're just in your pride. If you're not coming to the table with your doctrine, and you're coming up with every excuse instead of just coming to the table humble, improving all things. That way, everything can be established in order. You're in your pride, and you can't prove me otherwise. All you have to do is come to the table. All you got to do is present all things, prove all things, man. Just prove all things. Come to the table, prove all things. Hey, once you prove all things and they prove all things, and you know what I'm saying, and everything will be edified, you straighten out. Okay, I can see where you're coming from with this. Okay, brother, I can see. Yeah, brother, you're right. All right, man, I'm wrong. Okay. That's how it's hashed out. But y'all don't want to come to the table because it may be a chance you may be wrong. Because if you were right, you'll come to the table. It's not a problem. Okay, brother, I'll be over there. Let's meet up. Let's meet up. Okay, because I want to make sure I'm right. And if I'm not right, I want to be corrected. Look for judgment. And you always say, look for judgment. Look to see if you're right and you're wrong, man. But you don't want to, because you may be wrong. And if I'm wrong and it may be something else, please tell me so. Hey, I stand corrected. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm too proud to admit that I'm wrong. But y'all proud. Y'all in y'all pride. Y'all in y'all pride, man. This is 2 Timothy chapter let me see. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. It reads, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." All right. Let me see something. I know. Perilous. You can go to the Strong's G 5467. Perilous. Right? Kalepos in the Latin. Hard to do, take, hard to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce. So, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, time where you find it hard to do. Hard to do. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. They only care about themselves. F you all. Covetous. I want that. Oh, I want man. Oh, baby, I'm trying to get that. Brother's trying to get everybody else's woman. He ain't married. They ain't really married. That's what they doing. They ain't really married. Nah, they ain't really married. Hey, sister, what's up? You're not married. You heard what the brother said. What's up? Oh, thank you. Shalom, Lord. Shalom. I knew I was. I'm gonna get away from that, brother. That's what they doing, right? Boasters. And I myself caught myself into that boasting, bragging. And it was in an innocent way, but Yahushua Hamashiach brought me out of that. So water to his father Yahweh for showing him how to see it and helping me get up out of that, right? Proud. It's hard not to boast and it's hard not to be proud. You gotta humble yourself down. Blasphemers, lying on other people, slanders. All right. Disobedient to parents. Young men and young women just disobedient to their parents. All right, because you didn't put that rod to their ASS. All right, and the younger in the camp being disobedient to their leaders, because the camp leader is a spiritual father to you, brothers. Unthankful, unholy, not being separate from all that stuff. It's hard to do. It's hard not to do these things. Okay, without natural affection, truth breakers, women. Truth. Hey, these women will leave you quick in this truth. Because this world allows them incentives. This world allows women incentives. They're truce breakers, covenant breakers. Those are the ones that roll over there with the what? The covetous. The ones that want another man's wife. And they will go to the extent to prove that she's not really married to him. Truce breakers. Okay? False accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good. You just hate those. They good. They too damn. Man, they got something wrong. Something wrong with them. I know something going on with them. You know, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. Why? Because they're not going to repent. That's why. They're not going to repent. That's why you turn away. That's why you get away from your brothers. They're not going to repent. They're not going to repent, man. Brothers not going to repent. They're too proud. And you'll lead the others into destruction. You really will. It's Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 25. Yet ye say, the way of the Lord is not equal. Over to 2 Timothy's 2 and verse 2, right? For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, hard things, hard, perilous times, hard to do. It's hard to do because you saying the way the Lord do it. I don't know, man. It just don't seem right. Don't seem like it's on an even playing field. I feel I need to be like this. I feel I need to be like this. You know, a lot of people over exaggerate the scriptures to fit what they want to do, want to be done. You know what I'm saying? That's where the elders come in. These dudes been doing this for 20 plus years. They done fell, pick back up. They done fell and pick back up. All of them together can really bring this back. And you just gotta put some type of trust in them. I'm not gonna say, hey, I would not ever say this. Not every elder know what the hell he doing. But if they're coming together, let's see if we can trust them. Let's go to the table and see if it matches up, right? But from such, turn away. Why? Let's figure that out. Ezekiel 18 and 25. Yet ye say, the way of the Lord is not equal. Hear now, O house of Israel, is not my way equal? House of Israel, O house of Israel, Is not my way equal? Are not your ways unequal? Our ways are unequal. Our ways are. Nobody can say that it is. Our ways are unequal. But the way the scriptures show how we're supposed to be doing things, right? Is not my way, is not my way equal? Are not your ways unequal? When a righteous man turneth away from his righteousness and committeth iniquity and dieth in them, for his iniquity that he hath done shall he die, right? Shall he die? Yes, he shall die in his sin. That's when the Most High just get tired, man. Hey, boom. And Yahweh Shai is just not finna go and advocate for you. He's not going to go do that. All right. When a righteous, verse 26, when a righteous man turneth away from his righteousness and committeth iniquity and dieth in him, for his iniquity that he hath done shall he die. Again, when the wicked man turneth away from his wickedness that he hath committed and doeth that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive. Because he considereth and turneth away from all his transgressions that he hath committed. He shall surely live. He shall not die. That means you need to reconsider. I'm asking y'all brothers to reconsider what y'all doing. Just reconsider for me. Do it for me. Because you're not doing it for your Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That means y'all worldly as hell. Because Yahweh Bashim, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, told y'all to do it. You're not listening. So he sent the prophet. He sent messengers. He sent teachers. And I'm one of those. I'm one of them. I'm not going to exalt myself like that, no. To say that I'm a prophet, to say I'm a teacher or a messenger. I just covered the best gifts. All right, I'm a man of the Lord. I'm out there on these highways and byways doing the same work y'all do. So for right now, I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach. I just don't have the job yet. All right. I'm just saying, reconsider, fellas. Reconsider what y'all doing. Verse 28. Because he considereth and turneth away from all his transgressions that he hath committed. He shall surely live. He shall not die. Yet saith the house of Israel, the way of the Lord is not equal. O house of Israel, are not my ways equal? Are not your ways unequal? Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, because it's hard for you not to be proud. It's hard for you not to be boasters. And you don't want to reconsider what you're doing. Consider, like, now I need to stop this fast. Start doing something, man. Everyone according to, verse 30. Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, saith the Lord God. Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin. Cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby ye have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit. For why shall ye die, O house of Israel? For I have no pleasure in death, in the death of him that dieth, saith the Lord God. Wherefore turn yourselves and live ye. And just live. Right? So with that, man, I'm just gonna get on with the lesson, Torah portions. I just wanted to bring that out so brothers can understand that, you know, you need to calm down. So give me 2 minutes and we'll start up. Shalom. I'm about to get on with the prayers in just a sec. Hold on. Um. Okay. Okay. Boom. Uh. All right. Okay. But we're about to get on with the prayers. Just give us just a little bit of a shot. All right, Con. All right. All right. This is the Abanawa. All right, Yahweh Shah's prayer from Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Dash, Da, Shaka, Awu, Ka, Taba'a, Zaka, Da, Aisha, Barakza, Kahaya, Bashamayim, Adininawa, Kham, Koyuwum, Basalakinawa, Tabawakinawa, Kasalakinawa, Tabawakinawa, Bala'a, Tabianawa, Benisaiwan, Awal, Alshainawa, Madran, Kaya, Ka, Aqua, Wa'ala, Wa'napara, Walawalamu, Amar, Arjun, Afshad, Ashiya, Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed, kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, and we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Ba'ashun, Thou Shah, Mashiach, Amen. Ba'ashun, Thou Shah, Mashiach,
All right. So, blessed are they that dwell in the house. They will still be praising me. Salah. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea. Happy is that people whose Allahaya is Yahweh. I will extol thee, my Allahaya, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom, and shall talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thine hand, and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways, and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh to all them that call upon him, all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He will also hear their cry, save them. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will be destroyed. My mouth shall speak the praise of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. For we will bless the Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah, 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 Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Mashiach. This is the first three prayers of the Amada, Abawah, Rakatah, Yahweh, Allahaya, Nawa, Yahweh. No, it's like Allahaya, Nawa, Allahaya, about the Nawa, Allahaya, about Raham, Allahaya, Yatazakak, Allahaya, Yahweh, Allah, Sharia, Allah, Ayaman, Yamal, Sariyam, Rakatah, Yahweh, then about Raham, Gabawarwa, Atah, Yahweh, or Lawalam, Yahweh, Makaya, Apayam, Maya, Dawamala, Kamalak, Awalam, Pamaya, Makaya, or Atah, Yahweh, Makaya, Makayam. Four shots Shem Yahweh, Yahweh Ataya Kadayash, Kadu Kadawash, Wakadawashim, Oyo, Allah, Yahweh, Allah, blessed you, Yahweh, power of fathers, power of Abraham, power of Isaac, power of Jacob, mighty power, high power, and shows mercy, blessed you, Yahweh, son of Abraham, you are mighty power forever, Yahweh who receives faith, who is compared with eternity, for death is life. How we like to get the holy power of the game ever. Because you need how the power was holy. Hashem, Shai, Shia. Psalm 92, Psalm for the Shabbat day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, to sing praises unto thy name on top, and shoot forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, upon a palstry, upon a harp of a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in thy works to thy hand. Time to shoot forth thy loving kindness in the morning, thy faithfulness every night. Upon the instrument of 10 strings, upon the power strip, upon the harp of the solemn sound. Thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. How great is thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand it. When the wicked spring as the grass, when all the works of iniquity flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. Thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemy, Yahweh, for lo, thy enemy shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. My horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. And I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eyes also shall see my desire of my enemy. And my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of our Allahiyah. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourish. The shoe that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock. There is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah. 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 Hashem. Yahushua. Mashiach.
Shalom, shalom. Hey, y'all, see if y'all can hear me. I just pushed the button accidentally on the mic. Check on either one of y'all on YouTube. See if you can hear me. It's mic.
It's not going on.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Genesis 12. Hey, Nicole, turn that light, Bob. Shah. Behind me. Yeah. Y'all can see my handsome face now. Y'all hear the soldier trying to cut me, man? Y'all hear that? I don't do that on a consistent basis. I'm just joking around, but push-up season. Push-up season. Not yet. It's a Sabbath. We'll get them back. Okay. Hey, man. These Squid Games is crazy. We're just watching the Squid Games, man. We almost done with it. It's insane. I mean, but you're gonna have to look forward to some stuff like that. All that stuff gonna be popping up. Watching these last days, it's gonna get crazy, man. Let me mute this for a second. I'm back, y'all. Shalom. All right. So friends, how many of us have them? Friends, them we can depend on. Friends, how many of us have them? All right, I'm almost there. So we're going to be reading the Torah, right? We're going to go through chapter 12, verse 1 to chapter 17, verse 27. Right there. 5 chapters. Then we're going to go to the prophets, go to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 27, starting there. And in that chapter 41, verse 16, that will be read by soldiers and Akariyah. Powerful young brother. Then we're going to go to the gospel, and we're going to read John chapter 8, verse 51 to 58. And we're going to end off with that for the day. Okay? So right now, I'm going to read the law, read the Torah, and we're going to get to getting. So this is Genesis chapter. Let me go over here real quick because I need to share my screen. Cover cup. Drink about yeah. Come on, let's go. Man, let y'all know Nakaraka is one stopping me from getting good internet. Y'all know Issachar be having a hookup. He knows somebody. He knows somebody that worked at Cox Cable. I know he do. Issachar be having a hookup with all them stuff. He knows somebody that works there. I know. Get us some. Get us some of that bootleg cable. The internet. All right, here we go. Let me share my screen. Boom. The water for the drink. Boom. Get that going. Boom. Here we go. Abraham's journey to Egypt. How about them apples? You got me some water? Hell no, H2O. That's serious? Oh. Holy shenanigans. Get me what I'm drinking. Water. Can't find my can of tea, so I washed it. This is an atrocity. Water's good for you all. It's good for the body. Woo! Here we go. This is Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Hey, can you shut that? This is not going about the shut. Are they actually working on the Sabbath out here, man? This is crazy. This is Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house and unto the land that I will shew thee. Real quick, let's find out something. Let's see where his country is. So we usually say it over here. And let's go. So usually you can go over here and you can look up a lot of things regarding theologians, scholars. Let me just show y'all something. You know, your cross references, your commentaries, dictionaries, you know what I'm saying, music, you know what I'm saying, you can go and do that. So let's go over here. Let me just go through some things with y'all. All right. That's just Bibles. All right. Now you got cross references, different precepts and everything else like that. Um, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't understand this blue letter Bible, don't know how to navigate through this, and this is a good time to learn, being that you are being taught the law and these stories and everything else, and you know what I'm saying, names and understanding the Bible, and that's what I'm here for, to show you all these things. All right, and show y'all going through these things. You can find a lot. Let's see where the land where Abraham is from. So if we don't find it now, we'll find it then, right? And this is something I didn't look for from the beginning. It wasn't something that was on my spirit to find. It's on my spirit right now to find it. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I'm looking through this just to show y'all how to find things and other things as well that y'all can go through and look for yourselves and find out how things work, right? And these are just different, I think scholars or theologians, one of the two. Right, let me see. One of the two. Okay. And they'll tell you, these scholars and theologians, they'll tell you a lot. You know what I mean? You can just go there. You can go there and you can check for yourself. Let's go to this guy right here. All right. I don't want to stream. Oh, go to this guy. Here we go. Well, I don't have enough time to go through it, but y'all see how y'all can just go to different references and some different scholars and theologians and things like that and find out. Like I said, this wasn't my initial thing to go find Abraham's father where he lived and everything from. This is something, hey, we try to find it, but I don't have all the time in the world to be going through this. I would like to get on the lesson, but y'all see right here, you're able to do these things, okay? You're able to do these things, and hey, good luck. We'll try to find it if you want to, right? The Blue Letter Bible, and you'll be able to find a lot of things, right? Okay, let me get back on lesson. Exodus, Genesis 12 and 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. He is going to be a blessing, okay? And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now, this is a precept right here that everybody misinterprets because this precept, everybody in Christianity will say that, see, the Most High loves everybody because he blessed them. The Most High blessed a lot of people in Egypt, but he still plagued and killed them. That doesn't mean anything. Let me see something. Let's go to, I got some precepts in here. Excuse me. All right, Salaki, I had a very important call from my higher up, so I had to pause the lesson. So let me get back to it. All right, this is Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house and unto a land that I will shew thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now, this is where a lot of Christians get this mixed up to think that just because the people that bless Abraham, they are now blessed and they get to go to the kingdom. That's not actually how it goes. They will be in the kingdom. But the most thing, the thing that you got to worry about is the job they have in the kingdom. It's the job that they're going to have in the kingdom. That's what you got to understand. I would say yes. I would say yes. All nations, beside one or two, is going to be in the kingdom. Beside one or two, it's going to be in the kingdom. But what jobs are they going to be having in the kingdom? In heaven. What jobs are they going to be having? That's the most important. Now, because of this precept, people think that Ishmael gets the blessings and Ishmael is the most highest people and everything else, and it's not true. Because of this precept, a lot of people take a lot of things out of context and misinterpretation is thrown around over this precept. Okay, but we're going to get to it. Get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna go over here to chapter 17, verse 7, real quick. And it reads, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee, not thy seeds. This is Genesis chapter 17 and verse 7. Hold on, I'm gonna start at verse 6. Go in context with it, right? And I will make thee an exceeding fruitful, and I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make thy nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Just like Ishmael had 12 princes come out of him, right? He blessed them. Ishmael had 12 princes come out of him. Let me see. Yeah, he had 5 princes. So like 5 princes. And Abram had many sons that were blessed. But it's not about being just blessed. It's about being blessed with the covenants. It's not about just being blessed. It's about being blessed with the covenants. And when you go to Genesis chapter 17 and verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee, not thy seeds. This is singular, thy seed. All right? It's like I lost my place. Verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee, in their generations for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee and unto thy seed and to thy seed after thee. So when you go to Romans 9 and 1 to verse 4, he's saying Israel, right? So let me skip over here to verse 15 real quick. And God said unto Abram, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her. Hold on, let me see real quick. Okay, verse 15. And God said unto Abram, and as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations, kings. She shall be mother of nations, kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell on his face. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Okay, I was on the right track. So this is Genesis chapter 17, verse 15. And God said unto Abram, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah, meaning princess, shall Sarah shall her name be, and I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. That name right there meaning Isaac. And said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abram said unto God, which stood with the angel, but he's actually speaking to God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and shall bear thee a son, Salah, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, meaning laugh. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Who was the seed after him? Jacob and Esau. Who got the promises? Jacob, not Esau. So after you finish reading Romans chapter 9, verse 1 through 4, you can skip down to Romans chapter 11 and go to 14. Boom. Now this, verse 20, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. So when you go to this precept right here, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed, because they're coming from Abraham, not the Hamites. But people that bless him and bless us, his people, are going to be blessed for blessing us. But like I said, yes, other nations can be blessed. Abraham's son Ishmael was blessed and had 12 princes. Abraham had many sons that were blessed, but it's not about being just blessed. It's about being blessed with the covenants. Okay? So now I move on from there. Genesis 12 and 4. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Okay? So his father's land. No, that's not his father's land. Sorry. And Abram took Sarai his wife and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Morah, and the Canaanites was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him, which was Canaan. That was, the land he was going to give. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel. Right? Y'all got to understand what Bethel means. It's very important. Very, very important. In the Hebrew, Bethel, Strong's H1008, Bayath El, Bath, yeah, not Bayath, Bath, yeah, El, Bath El, okay? Bethel, non-translated variable, right? Bethel, house of Yahweh, the ancient place and set a seat of worship in Ephraim on border of Benjamin, identified with Luz's former name. All right, a place in south country of Judah, not far from Beersheba and Ziklag. All right. Good information. Check it out. Right. Let's see. Okay. Verse 8. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, house of Yahweh, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ha means a heap of ruins on the east. And there builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. Now remember, right here, and he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord there, right? And where were they? Having Bethel on the west and Ha on the east, right? But he removed thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent. Remember that. He pitched his tent unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, on the east of the house of Yahweh. Okay? Got to remember that. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah, his wife, he said unto princess. Just to show y'all, Sarah means princess. Gotta pass it. There. All right. Sarah, meaning princess, right? I want to show y'all something for you ladies. Now, godly living for the women. 1 Peter 3:1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also without the word be won by the conversation of the wise, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Like you dare talk to your husband like you crazy. Don't even be that proud. But if your husband is not keeping the law, right, you still stay in subjection. That if he don't obey the word, they also without the word may be won by the conversation of the wise, because you are the flesh of his flesh. You are a helpmeet. You still stay quiet. You still stayed in order. All right. You yield the wrath of a man by staying in your place. All right. Verse 3. Whose adorning, let it not be the outward adorning. Right. What's that outward adorning? Plaiting of hair, getting your hair done, your glory, and wearing of gold, earrings and everything, and putting on of apparel. The Most High took that from him, but we're not talking about that. But at the same time, the putting on of all these things, getting your hair done, nails done. Don't let that be the beauty. The Most High don't want that to be your beauty that you consider beautiful, right? But let it be the hidden man of the heart, which is Yahweh, the one that's telling you this is what he wants you to do. This is you submitting to the God that's in the man, which is Yahweh, right? But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible. The hidden man, that which is not corruptible, is the hidden man of the heart, which is Yahweh. You don't see him, but you know his word is there in his heart. That's who you're submitting to. The mind of the man that's trying to be like the Most High. All right? So when you say, I'm only going to submit to the Most High is in his mind. Submit to that man that's right there. The Most High is in him, giving you a reason to submit to him, not what you see. And what I mean by it's not what you see, the man keeps the law, but he's going to fall short. But Yahweh is always going to be inside him. And when he sins, it's only for a period of time that don't give you the right. That way, if any obey not the word, they also without the word may be won by the conversation of the wise. Meaning if you don't keep the law, you still got to stay in subjection. All right? Verse 4, but let it be not the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God, right? The invisible man that's inside of him, right? The hidden man of the heart, right? Yahweh. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Right? Just like Sarai did. Sarah. Just like Princess did. So if you want to be the daughters of Sarah, you got to stay in subjection. And you can't justify yourself getting out. That is you breaking the law. So I just want to bring that out. Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians, hold on, verse 11. All right, this is Sarah being in subjection right here, being submissive and doing what her head told her to do. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter to Egypt, that he said unto Sarah, his wife, behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me. But they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake. For my soul shall live because of thee. And I ask you, is he lying? Her being his sister? Put in the comments. Let me know if he's lying or not. Verse 14. And it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. She was beautiful. The princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he asses, and men servants and maid servants and she asses, and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife, because of Princess, Abram's wife. She was doing what he said. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this? What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife and all that he had. Called Shirah, Devar Yahweh, Adonai Shai, V'nashama. Father Yahweh said, what are we doing here? So as you see, I'm bringing you to remembrance of the things of what Sarah was doing, what type of wife she was, who the promises is. It's because the Most High said, whoever blesses Abraham, he's going to bless them. Okay? It's not about being the seed. It's about being a seed that has the promises of the covenant. Okay? So now we're going to Genesis chapter 30. All right, so now we have Genesis chapter 13 and 30. Salah. Let me look at my notes real quick. Mm, okay. All right. Cool. So this is Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. Abraham meaning what? What's his name mean? The exalted father. What does Lot name mean? You can get that in the Strong's H3876. Lot. It means covering. Okay. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold, and went on his journey from the south even to Bethel, the house of Yahweh, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ha, heap of ruins. Bethel, the house of Yahweh, all right? Unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first, right? And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Remember, I told y'all to remember where it was, all right? It was where? Verse 8, chapter 13, verse 8. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, on the east of the house of Yahweh, and pitched his tent having Bethel on the west and Ha on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord and called upon the name of the Yahweh. Right? Verse 13, chapter 13, verse 3. And he went on his journey from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ha. He went back over there real quick, where the altar and everything else. He just went back over there unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, while they had many, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen and Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen. For we are brothers. Like, man, we ain't finna argue over this. Man, we brothers. That's his brother's nephew. Meaning he's the uncle. He's saying still, that's my brother. Meaning you have no excuse. You can't say that's not my brother. That's my uncle, man. I ain't finna treat him like that is your brother. You just have different stages of respect and moral standards when it comes to your father's brother. It's your uncle. He's still your brother too. Right? Verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from thee. If thou wilt take if thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If thou wilt depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan. Right? Jordan meaning what? I have it already. Strong's H3383, Jordan, Yerdan, meaning descender. He looked upon Yesender, okay? And Lot journeyed, verse 11, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. All right. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. Right? Remember, you gotta know these names. Okay. Sodom, field or plain, right? A valley where the Dead Sea is located. Right. So everybody gonna say where the Dead Sea at? The Dead Sea is over this way, right there. You're gonna understand that where's over there. Sodom. Oh, all right. Let's just look it up, anyways. Edification's sake. Sidon, Sidon, burning. I'm sorry. I think I got the. Let me see. That's the wrong storm. I repent. Salakia, I gave y'all the wrong one. This is a different one. This is what I read to you was something else. Salakia, repent from that. I have it over here, H5467, which is the same one. Saddam means burning. A Canaanite city, usually compared with, eh, usually compared with Gomorrah, located in the area of the Dead Sea and the Jordan River. Both cities destroyed by God, by Yahweh in judgment. Okay, so it's kind of the same as over here, but not really the same. But it is a Canaanite city, usually paired with Gomorrah, located in the area of the Dead Sea. Boom. So if you're looking going towards the Dead Sea, you got to understand it is located in the area of the Dead Sea and the Jordan River. Both cities destroyed by Yahweh. Okay. So it's like it. All right. All right, Genesis chapter 13, verse 12. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. All right. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land, in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. That's a lot. And Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Parashara, Devar Yahweh, Anai Shai, Beneshama. All that Yahweh said, what we do here. All right, so these are just giving locations, and I was giving you the names and what they mean in the Hebrew and the locations of where they are, just so y'all know, and it's just you can understand your geological locations, okay? So now let's go to chapter 16. Now, these names are very, very, very important. And it came to pass in the days of Amapharel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Eleazar, Chedor Lomer, king of Elam, right? And Tittle, king of nations. See something real quick. Amraphel, Sayer of darkness, fall of the Sayer. You understand there was in all kind of idolatry stuff. The king of Shinar, Babylon, perhaps Hama, Morabi, right? Uncertain, perhaps foreign derivations, Amapharel, and a king of Shinar, right? Araphel, right? So let's see location. This is the man who reigned in i.e. Babylonia in the time of Abraham, king of Shinar, i.e. Babylonia in the time of Abraham. There's Babylon, right? All right, and all we know today that the Babylonians are the Cushites, which today would be your Somalians, Ethiopians, and Eritreans, okay? Right? And Raphael, king of Shinar, Babylonians, Shinar, country of two rivers, the ancient name for the territory later known as Babylonia or Chaldea. So y'all got to understand that the Chaldeans are really the Babylonians. The Chaldeans today are not the real Chaldeans. Let you know, they're not the real Chaldeans. Right? Shinar, right? Not good information. We'll pass that up. Just giving y'all a little history about these kings that were going to war with Sodom and Gomorrah. Arioch, king, his name means lion-like. The ancient king of Eleazar, Ali of Chador Lamer, the chief of executioners of Nebuchadnezzar. Right? The name of the two Babylonians, Arioch. Watch this. All right. Elasar, god of Chesner, a town in Babylonia, 28 miles, 50 kilometers, of Ur. Okay. Here we go. Almost done. Ked Ola Omer. Ked Ola Omer. Ked Ola Omer. Ked Ola Omer. Okay. Ked Ola Omer. Handful of sheaves. King of Elam defeated by April. Now, I don't think I'm remember that name. I'm going to have to pronounce it the way I do. Right. This is an early Persian king. Today will be the Assyrians. Right? So it seems like the Babylonians, the Syrians at this time, the king of Elam, defeated by Abraham. So I don't want to be presumptuous. So I'm going to leave that alone about who they are today. Well, I know who is who today, but at this time, of Abraham, things could be different. So I'm not going to be presumptuous and talk. I just want to get y'all to understand their names, what they mean, and who they were fighting. Okay? King of Elam. Elam meaning eternity. I know Elam today will be your people from India. It's Elam. Okay. All right, let's get to the good stuff. The king's names and everything else. Until King of Nations. Just look up his name and everything else. Tittle, great son, chief of various nomadic tribes, and an ally of Chador Lamer. Right? He's a Canaanite. So Tittle is a Canaanite. All right, cool. We got that. Lord willing, we can move on. So you know who they are. All right. Got Babylonians and Elam and Assyrians up in here. All right, so it's Brazil. All right, Genesis chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Eleazar, and Chaldomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Barak, king of Sodom, and with Barsha, king of Gomorrah, Shenab, king of Admah, and Shemabir, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zor. All these were joined together in the valley of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chaldalomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chaldalomer and the kings that were with him, and smote Rephims and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzim, and the Zazims, and Ham, and the Imims, and Savad, Carithaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, right? Horites were there before Esau, until Ephraim, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came unto Enesphat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazan Tamar. And there went out a king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same as Zor. And they joined battle with them in the valley of Siddim, with Chaldemer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amarphal, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Eleazar, four kings with 5. And the valley of Siddim, full of slime pits. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountains. So the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled right? When they were getting beat. And they took the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that escaped and told Abram, the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Anar, and these was confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself. Abraham was rich, 300 some servants, 318 servants, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus, the Syrians. And he bought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. Right? And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chaldolamer, and of the kings that were with him, and at the valley of Shavah, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High Yahweh. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High Yahweh, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be the Most High Yahweh, which have delivered thine enemies into thy hand, and gave him tithes of all. Right? And the king of Sodom said unto Abraham, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. Like, give me the people. No. Watch this. And Abram said unto the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High Yahweh, to give him do this stuff, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latch, and that I will not take anything that is thine. Least thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. I give it to you. If you can say, I give you nothing, basically. All right, so let me fix this up right here. And the king of Sodom, in verse 21, and the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even unto a shoe latchet, that I will not take anything that is thine. Least thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. Everything belongs to the Most High. He finna give you what the Most High is. The people coming with him. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Anar, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. He's gonna give it to them, their portion, the people he got in the stuff. After he done gave his tithes to Melchizedek, and for the Most High and everything else which went to Melchizedek, and to his men. He's not giving him anything. All right, Kal Shirah, the Bar Yahweh, and Shai when Shema. Although Yahweh said, what are we doing here? Let's move on. Genesis 15:1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abraham. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. Abraham said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus and Syria. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. Look up to the stars. Can you number them now? That's how that seed gonna be. You're not gonna be able to number. All right? And he believed in the Lord and counted him to him for righteousness. So I'm gonna go over here to First Maccabees 1 real quick. Just give you all an understanding why the Most High sought that for righteousness with our father Abraham. It's First Maccabees chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and everlasting name. So do what our fathers did. That way you receive an everlasting name and great honor. Right? Verse 52. Was not Abraham found faithful in intentions, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Again, was not Abraham found faithful intentions, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? He had faithful intentions. His purpose was the Most High. Faithful intentions was of the Most High, and do what the Most High said to do. His faithful intentions, and everything that he did was faithful, and he had good intentions. He had good intentions. He had good purposes of what he did and the things that he did. All right, now going back to Genesis 15, verse 6, and he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? How am I going to know that I inherit it? He said unto him, take me an heifer and 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, know certainly that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So remember, this is talking about Israel spending their time in Egypt 400 years. So in actual captivity, they spent about 250, give or take. But the rest of their 150 was with constant rebuke and correction, people talking ish about them. Y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that. It was 150 years of that. Like we're going through now. We're not going through that physical hard bondage, but we're going through that point fingers. Yeah, these Negroes ain't African Americans ain't doing this. Hispanics ain't doing this. These Panamanian Guatemalans coming over here crossing the sea. Haitians, they ain't ish. They coming over here. We getting that. Okay, that's what we're getting. Verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the river, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Now remember, look at that in verse 17. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, Most High just wanted to show us power. Behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between the pieces came from the sky. It was hitting, boom, hitting the pieces. It was hitting the offerings and everything else and taking, burning them up. He accepted his offerings. All right. Verse Verse 19. The Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Kadomanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. So why did those come up? Let me start in context. In the same verse 18, the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed I have given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites, he gave all of them up. Those are all his servants. Their land, everything is his. Right? Kal Shara, Debar Yahweh, Anai Shai, Benashemai. All that Yahweh said, what we do in here. And that is ours. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that is our inheritance. All that is our inheritance, and we're going to get it, whether you like it or not. Okay? This is Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. And Sarah, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. Right? Today, they are the people from Sudan, Sidonians, the Sudan. Okay? And Sarah said unto Abraham, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. She was jealous. All right. And Sarah said unto Abraham, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee. But Abraham said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. He don't care. She's a heathen to him. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by the fountain of the water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou? All right, remember the Lord found her by the fountain. He said, whence comest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress, Sarah. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall be not numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. All right, she was pregnant. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of his brother, his Ishmael. And he's over here today. And he dwells in the presence of us. He's almost like a lord over us now. All the business, all the distillery, weed shops, and everything else they owning over here, man, they coming in, getting it in. Verse 13. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Ber Lara'ah. Let me look that up. Berlacha'ira'ah. Berlayara'ah. Berlayara'ah. The will of the living one seeing me. Well of the living one seeing me, right? A well west of Kadesh, south of Yasharal. All right. Mm, Sabir, no, Bir Lakara. Best I can pronounce that there. Bir Lakara. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. Verse 15, and Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. And Abraham was fourscore and 6 years old, 96 years old, no, 86 years old, when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abraham. Kasharah, Debar Yahweh, and Ayashah, Shema. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. All right. All right. So now we're going on to chapter 17, finish at verse 7, verse 27. All right, so let's go. Let's get it. Good information going out. I hope you'll remember this, take notes, and you'll remember these testimonies, okay? It's important thing is to remember these testimonies. That way, when you start reading the prophets and you start reading the gospel, you'll understand what's going on. All right, Genesis 17, verse 1, Abraham and the covenant of circumcision. All right, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty Yahweh. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. Right? And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. You can go to Romans 9 and 1 and read that. Okay? And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, and an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee, and their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep, me and you and thy seed, not seeds, seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Ye shall circumcise the fourth, circumcise you. Better get circumcised. Your ass gonna get death. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs to be circumcised. Even the heathens in the house got to be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be off from his people. He hath broken my covenants. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give her thee a son also of her. Yet I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. Remember that, and laughed. and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? Abraham said unto God, right, the angel that's speaking for Yahweh, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed. Thou shalt call his name Isaac, right? And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with thy seed after him. Let's look up Isaac's name real quick. Yitzchak, 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 Isaac, he laughs, son of Abraham by Sarah his wife, after father of Jacob and Esau. Yitzchak, Yitzchak. I know a brother named Yitzchak. I guess that's his name, Isaac. Remember? Man, ooh, that came to my mind. Wow, brother. Whew, that was wicked. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, calm down, calm down. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall, verse 19, and God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day, as Yahweh had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. This old man circumcised himself in that foreskin. There is no excuse for nobody. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Right? And the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him, called Shirah, the Bar Yahweh, Anai Shai, Wanashama. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. We're going to pass this on to the young Hebrew, Zanak Ariyah. All right. Lord willing, he become an officer soon, you know what I'm saying? See. All right, Shalom. 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 Shalom.